Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I felt like it would be fun to kind of relook at some of my old art and compare it to my art today. So if you're new here, my name is Indy. I'm known as Just by Indy on Instagram and TikTok. So I'm honestly kind of nervous to like relook at some of my art because I feel like it'll be kind of cringy. But I guess this will humble me a little bit. So I think the first drawing I ever did was of Ponyo because it's one of my like favorite Studio Ghibli movies, and it was when Ponyo was under like a water droplet or something. I can't remember like what the scene was, to be honest, but this was it. It is so oh man, like I think I tried to shade a lot and the lines are just so bad, but good first attempt. I think this is like my first time like really using Procreate and just drawing digitally. I definitely also used a lot of different brushes. Look at the background. Like I think I tried to add texture or something with the splatter paint. I don't know what the heck was going on, but this was not it. I think something else I did a lot of was working with like bubbles. I had a bubbles phase, I think, of like just drawing glass and stuff. So this was around Christmas time, and that's when I drew this piece of art, which I thought is honestly pretty good. But I feel like right now I would have a lot more shading rather than this one, which is more like one color coded. Like same with this whale drawing. I also had a whale phase. I don't know, I felt like I had a lot of drawings that were kind of like a window kind of scene situation. Like look at that, like this landscape one, window scene. I don't know what was happening here, but I definitely had a phase of this like window scene, and just looking at the drawing of the clouds, and I think I think this was the time when a lot of people were doing like an ombre color situation with the sky and art like that. I definitely think I followed this artist that did that, so I was trying to learn how to do that on Procreate as well. This was like when I was first, again, starting to learn how to use Procreate, so a lot of these techniques were because of this one guy. I can't remember who it was, but he did that. Yeah, a lot of ombre situation going on, even with this koi fish. And the shading I learned from that person. This was also when, again, I used a lot of texture just to make it more realistic. Like this artist that I tried to mimic used a lot of texture, so I think that's where I learned it from. And same effect with the bubbles I use with the fin of kind of like erasing the white part to make it look more translucent. So that was the vibe at the time. Yeah, definitely had a whale phase. Look at this. I drew that. And then I think I had a solo whale as well. It was one of my first ones. Well, oh my gosh. I don't know why I drew so many whales, but I guess like that was what I was doing. I had a big Studio Ghibli phase, obviously, as one artist does. Like look at the three that I drew, and I thought it was pretty good. I was actually really proud of this one because I am not that great when it comes to like wrinkles, lines, and honestly like just portraits in general I'm not that great at. So I was proud of this one for sure. But I think like what I don't do now is I shade more and like blend colors more, but for this drawing specifically I feel like I just had more color blocking instead, and just like using that as shadow rather than like actually just using a soft brush or something to blend everything in. You see that I did that, but I still like this drawing as well. And then a year after that I started getting more like cartoony rather than more realistic, because I feel like as much as I love drawing like realistic kind of art, I think where I love drawing is like these like cute cartoony things, and I think that's when my brand started becoming more cartoony. And it's crazy because I feel like when I'm drawing with a pencil or like paint or something, it becomes more like realism, versus when I'm drawing on a Procreate or something, it becomes more cartoony. So like look at this. I think I kind of implemented cartoony, and obviously including the bubbles because I love bubbles. But this one also, like, I feel like I was still kind of in between cartoony and cute stuff, but you can also see that I've been starting to like shade more rather than using color blocking. Okay, so this was like the end of 2020. This is like around Christmas time, and yeah, you can see like this is more my style now. I feel like you can see the shading, you could see kind of just like the cute style that I was going for. Try to find something that was like a year after that. Like all of this was from April 2021. You can kind of see the cute styles that I'm getting towards. Like I have been gravitating more towards like animals and food, and I was trying to balance between like realistic and cartoony. Like even this one, I'm like, I loved at the time, but now that I'm looking at it, like it's kind of cringy that I did this, because I think I would draw it completely different now. So that's another option of what I could redraw now to see how it compares. And then this was when I launched my first pin. I think this was like kind of getting closer to what my style was. This like Boba Bear pin of like cuteness, and I include the stars. But one thing that I have started to do, which I'm trying to like find where I even started it, but maybe it was like towards the end of or middle of 2021 maybe. I think like, yeah, like 2021, I think that's when I started to add kind of like lighting via like these white lines, just to like give that extra oomph and pop and like shininess of the product. So I think that's when I started doing that, like 2021 of July, and ever since then I have started doing that. So this was 2022. Like this whale photo I had as a sticker. Oh, that's funny. I like added the whale back into my life since I haven't drawn whales in so long, but I want to have like a boba theme of like the sea or something. But you can see that like I started adding like the shininess of the boba, the water swirls and everything, just to give that extra like shininess. I started adding it everywhere, and it's like became something that I did. And then I started transitioning to very like detailed, like full canvas kind of prints. And honestly, I think this is my style going forward. I think this was August 2022. So now in 2024, so I feel like I've stuck around with this kind of theme of very detailed, cartoony, shiny drawings for the last 2 years. Because if you've ever bought my pins, they're very detailed, even though like people are probably gonna throw it away after they get the pin. But let me just show you some of the pins and their backgrounds to show you what I mean about like more detailed drawings. So I feel like this was my Yakult pin, so very detailed of how I drew it. It's like a vending machine and everything. So let me show you like other ones, and this is kind of like a sneak peek. Hopefully I'll get this pin by the end of the month, but before that, this is like what I would draw for like my Korean barbecue pin. So I guess you're like the first to know if you're watching this video that I'll be launching this very soon. But yeah, I think like that, I mean, that was my 2024, since it is gonna be launching this month. But I feel like, yeah, like ever since 2022, like towards the end of it, that's when I became more consistent and I really found my style. So I think the drawing that I will be kind of like redrawing, I think I'm gonna try to redraw the Ponyo one because that was like one of the first ones I've ever posted, and I still really love Ponyo, so I'm going to redraw that. Okay, so let's try and start to draw this Ponyo one. Let me just pull up the old image for reference. Okay, just put it in the corner. Man, where to begin? So I usually kind of just sketch out the drawing itself a little bit. And we're done. I feel like this is the final rendition of where my style is at now. It's definitely a lot more cartoony, but it's crazy to think that like I used to draw a certain way and it has evolved into something completely different. I'm not going to include the water, but this is what the drawing would look like, the main focus. And yeah, I think it's just simple, it's cartoony, and it's cute. So I wonder what else I should kind of redraw and to see how it looks like today compared to back then. But that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed seeing kind of like a timeline of when I first posted my art on Instagram until today. But until next time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel.